Hi, everybody, and welcome back to the Open Road Podcast. I want to thank everybody for being here. People that are returning back to watch these podcasts, thank you so much. And for all the new viewers that are here joining us for the first time, welcome. We do a podcast. We do it in English and Spanish, and we do other things on this channel. So we appreciate you watching. Today's guest is my tia, but I don't call her tia because we're the same age. So, but she's still cool, right?
We're not the same age.
I'm older.
I'm gonna tell you right now, you're older. You're older than me by 4 months.
Either way, it's a long story. We're gonna get into it.
Yeah.
Her name's Vegsady de Leon Gonzalez.
Yep.
How you doing?
Doing good.
All right.
I have a request before we start.
Hold on. I forgot, and I have to ask this.
What?
How did your name Vegas Lady come about?
Oh.
Before we get into the introductions, I gotta know this.
I was working at the hospital, at a hospital in the medical center, and I went to go get a cup of coffee at the Starbucks, and I had my badge on for work. And I guess the guy was just writing things down really fast, and he saw my name and he just wrote it down, and I was like, okay, they ask you your name, but he didn't ask me my name. So he just saw my name on my badge and wrote it down. And then I got my cup of coffee and it said Vegas Lady. And I was like, this mofo. And I posted it on Facebook. And to this day, random people that I friends and family, they'll be like, hey, Vegas Lady.
I knew the story a little bit, but I didn't really know the details.
Dude, I was like, out of all the names in the world, how do you get Vegas Lady?
Out of Vegsady.
I
can see it.
Yeah. The V-E-G, and that's about it. I
could see it.
Yeah.
Creative. Starbucks people are very creative.
Sometimes.
Most of the fucking time.
Yeah, when they want to mess up your order.
That's why I ordered cafe mocha. You can't really fuck that one
I
up.
know, right?
Hot with fucking whipped cream. It's really good.
Yeah.
So yeah, tell us a little bit about you. What's going on with you?
Well, before we get started, I have a request.
Oh, okay. All right.
I'm gonna need you to make a shirt with this print. La sábana de fina, because it's classic. I really like the blue and the orange. It brings out
it's good.
It brings out the color in your eyes.
I got underwear that are like this pattern. It's really nice. But only special podcast people can see that.
No.
Bad joke. No one has seen those underwears. Not that I don't have them.
Lord, no, you should really make shirts out of this or something.
You know what, Janie? I think that's
merch. There you go, merch.
We'll sell it cheap too.
Yeah.
If the shirt costs $5, we'll sell it at $5.99.
Dale.
Because
at Fallas Paredes. I got you on that one.
My fucking shirt to be at Goodwill within a week. Man, fuck this,
Va a llegar Lucia. Mom, look, I went thrifting today.
That is a good idea, though. I like that.
Yeah, you should get something with flowers on it.
We're gonna upgrade. So what you're seeing now, we're poor.
No, this is legit.
Ish.
I love it. I think this is really cool. It's a really cool project you got going on. Yeah.
Right. I just don't have any decorations anywhere, but we're gonna work on that.
We're gonna get there.
Maybe you got some ideas for a decoration right here.
Ya está. I got you.
Damn. Everybody that's coming on. That's why I need more fucking guys on the show, because everybody's like, I'm going to decorate the shit out of your podcast.
I don't know about decorating the shit out of the podcast, but I got some ideas. I can see what I can do.
Right. So, where are you from? What you got going on? Tell us about you.
So, I was born in Monterrey.
Regia.
Sí, soy regia al 100%.
Su pinche madre.
Sí, pues, puro Cerro de la Silla.
Oye, güey.
The most beautiful mountain de todo Monterrey.
I've been there.
Yeah?
I was a kid.
Oh, no, ya ha cambiado mucho.
El Cerro de la Silla, they have La Cola de Caballo, no?
Yeah, they have La Cola de Caballo in Santiago, Nuevo León.
Okay.
Yeah, they have it there. It's changed so much.
Really?
Yeah, it's changed a lot. It's really pretty, very touristy, looks really nice. What I like about it is when you get there, before you make the hike to go look at the waterfall, te compras una caguama. That way you can drink on the way there.
Nice.
But they need another, I don't know if they have it now, but they need another puesto to buy another one for your walk back. Yeah.
We gotta go one day, man.
Yeah.
Oh, y'all go often, no?
Nah. We try to go once a year, but it's been 2 years, almost 2 years that I last went.
Since the pandemic or what?
Nah, well, yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
And now travel, it's just different. We try to aim towards other places. But no, I still have family there. We have family in Monterrey. My mom is from General Terán, Nuevo León.
Okay.
My dad is from San Isidro, which is pertenece a Los Ramones, Nuevo León. So I'm from Nuevo León, 100%.
Puro Nuevo León.
Yeah, puro Nuevo León.
No shit.
So yeah. That's about it. And I came, excuse me, I came without papers back in '86.
Like, yeah.
No, I mean, no me vine por el río. Like I came in a car. They brought me. My mom brought me. She was a single mom. So, you know, life over there was just going to be different trying to raise me. So she, her and my uncle and his wife, one of my aunts, they brought me as a baby. I would actually, fun fact, I would use my cousin's papers to go to and from Mexico. Yeah. So at the age of 4, I already learned their information on their birth certificates.
Right. You're trying to, yeah.
Hey, I mean, okay, el que no tranza no avanza.
That's true. That's true. It was very common in those days too.
Yeah, it was easier. It was a lot easier, definitely.
Some of the struggles that it's so hard, you know. Like, I mean, granted, you were a baby when all that was going on, but just imagine what your mom had to go through, right? Like, it's not easy.
It's not easy. It was not easy. I know that for a fact. It was not easy.
You know, with you, I can only imagine.
I wasn't that bad. No, I wasn't bad.
Of course not.
No.
No, of course not.
No, yo soy un dulce.
Sí. Esos pinches dulces amargos.
I know. The sour candy. Yeah. That was me.
Joke, bad joke.
No, don't joke. But
so
yeah, my parents got married when I was 5. My stepdad raised me. And then we landed here in Katy, and my whole entire educational life was in Katy.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but my family, I had family in Magnolia Barrio, you know, over there. So.
But you was Cinco Ranch the whole way?
Nombre que Cinco Ranch. On north side of Fry Road.
Okay. Old Katy, is that what it is?
I was in Old Katy for a good while, and then I went to north side of Fry Road, which is not Cinco Ranch at all. I don't live in the gated communities. I didn't grow up in gated communities.
Try growing up in the Southeast, baby.
Oh, I know it.
That was nice. So, you got how many kids?
I got one.
I know, but you know, for the viewers, right?
Yeah, for the viewers. Que no sabes? No.
Oh shit.
No, I have a 12-year-old. She's about as tall as me now. Definitely, she's a tall one in the family.
You know, me and her get along pretty well.
Yeah.
Which is weird to me, right?
It's weird. Something's hair in my.
Because
hair in my face.
I think like you guys instill a lot of the veteran stuff in them, like in her, you know.
Absolutely, we are very appreciative of our veterans, especially of you. Thank you for your service. I don't need to thank you, but we appreciate you.
It was fun. It was fun, and I appreciate it. I mean,
yeah, very proud of you.
Either way, like I feel like that was me and Lucia's connection, right? When she's like, "Hey, come," especially the Veterans Day program.
Yeah,
I was like, man, like no one's ever asked me to do that, right? Like,
yeah,
here we go. And I thought it was so awesome, like to share that moment with her, and I saw like she appreciated it, you know, like
she does appreciate it. And it's funny because like whenever we go places and she sees a vet, she'll thank them for their service, so
which is awesome.
It's important.
But that's how it starts. You know, maybe she may join one day. You never know.
You know, I support it. I'll support any of her dreams.
Gotcha. It's a good mom.
Would it be my favorite dream? Of course not. But I mean, I'm a mom. I'm a mom first, so I'll support any of her dreams.
I think I see you guys the way you guys parent, and man,
crazy and loud.
No, but I see so much of what should be done. You know what I mean? Like, I think our whole family's that way, right? Like, I couldn't picture anybody that I would be like, man, they're shitty parents. Like, I don't see it anywhere, right? Like, I don't.
In our family?
Right, in our family. I really don't. Like, I really don't. And I'm not tooting the family's horn and shit, but
no,
I don't see it. Like, yeah, would I change a few things? Like,
of course,
everybody could tweak it, right? But
but nobody's perfect.
But nobody's perfect, right?
Nobody's perfect. Parenting's not easy. Mm-hmm. But, you know, I mean, we're all in this together.
And that'll be something we'll touch here in a bit.
Yeah, definitely.
But I definitely want to get into with your pregnancy, because I think you have a very maybe post-pregnancy stories that kind of puts a little more.
Yeah, I think it's a story that a lot of people know about, but they don't know details.
Right. And I think that's really.
Yeah, they don't know the details.
Aquí toda la gente le gusta el pinche chisme. Así que
a chismear.
Vamos a chismear un rato con Vegsady.
Vamos a chismear un rato.
Un rato.
No, para sacarlas de las dudas.
De las dudas, porque las dudas son malas.
Yeah.
But
I think everybody knows my story, like overall picture.
Right.
But nobody knows the details.
Right.
Or not a lot of people know the details.
And we'll get into the details, and again, wherever you're comfortable, right? Like, and this is a safe place, right? Like, I'm going to tell you that straight up. Like, this is a good, safe place for you, for me, for everybody. For anybody that knows me, like, I'm not doing this to get famous, get the likes. Okay, that's cool if it happens, right?
Right.
But I think it's more important for me to get your story out there, right? Because, like,
And for me, it's important to tell it from my view, the way it happened. I don't talk about it very often in detail.
And then how hard would it be to keep telling everybody the story?
Oh my gosh, that's hard. It's like reopening the wound.
Right.
You keep reopening the wound.
And I think this is so awesome that we're going to be able to dig into that.
Yeah.
And I know it's not going to be easy. And
I have a napkin here just in case. I mean, it's right here. My safe zone is right here with the napkin and the sabana.
I think it's courageous what we're about to get into, because so far on this podcast, I think everybody who's come on has been courageous in their own ways.
Yeah.
Everybody's dealing with something. Everybody's dealt with something. Your story is just as important as anybody else's story. And I love the fact that you're here. And from the bottom of my heart, like, I love you for it. And let's get into it, girl. Like, come on. I know this is a big deal for you. Big story.
It is. It's like a story that happened 12 years ago. It's, my daily reminder is every day. Right. Every day is a daily reminder for me of what happened.
Seeing your daughter.
Yeah, seeing my daughter, seeing something that's so beautiful, but it's there. It's there. Because I think we both have challenges with it. So we'll get more into that. But yeah, I mean, my pregnancy was pretty normal. I carried her, I was like 38 and a half weeks. Like, it wasn't like a preemie thing. She was 38 and a half weeks. The last 3 months of my pregnancy, I was I had gestational diabetes, but I controlled it with insulin. I was around the clock insulin. Gosh, like 7 times a day, almost 7 to 10 times a day, I injected insulin.
Damn, dude.
And that's just like eating healthy. Like, I was still eating healthy, but my insulin was just crazy sometimes. But the main source of that, if you don't control your diabetes while you're pregnant, then your baby comes out to be extremely big. And the doctor told me from the get-go, we need to control it. We don't want this baby to be a 12-pounder, 13-pounder. So even when she was born at 38 and a half weeks, she was already 8.9. She was born at 8.9 pounds.
Pretty big baby.
That is a big baby for 38 weeks. Because if she would have gone the full term, she would have easily been 12.
I think my little brother was like 10 and a half.
God.
Yeah, my mom's she's a champ. Anyways.
She is a champ.
Undisputed.
Gosh, undisputed.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, that's a pretty big baby for diabetes. Because I wasn't a big baby.
No.
And
of course not.
No, and my husband, at least from what my suegra says, he wasn't a big baby either. So yeah, we had this 8.9, and she's 21 and a half inches long, and that's a big baby. So everything was great. At 10 weeks post labor, I went out. It's crazy how my biological clock worked. So I had my daughter on a Saturday. Exactly 10 weeks from that Saturday that I had her. So 10 weeks.
Another Saturday.
Yeah, another Saturday. I met up my brother at a restaurant, and I just, out of nowhere, it just like a faucet. I mean, I just started bleeding. I started vaginally bleeding. It definitely is not like a period. It is like a faucet. It's like a water hose. Somebody turns it on and it's going. But long story short, for that scenario, I was rushed to the hospital from the restaurant, exactly, to the hospital, and they made me lay flat so that way gravity could take its course and can kind of even it out. And I stopped bleeding naturally. They did give me medication to contract the uterus, because they said since I had the baby 10 weeks ago, maybe the uterus didn't contract the way it's supposed to.
What did they say was the cause for that?
At that time, they didn't tell me anything. They just said possibly. I mean, they did do like the ultrasounds and all that, but they said, well, maybe your uterus just didn't contract. Okay. Which is, it's possible. It happens. They gave me the medication, went home, and I was fine. So, but at home, I was like, something happened. I just need to maybe slow down. Just slow down a couple more weeks.
Slow down how? What were you doing that wasn't slowing down?
Well, I was exercising still, but I just felt like I needed to just slow down, like just not get up and just go with life. Maybe just chill.
Or you were cleared to exercise or
I
no?
was cleared to exercise.
Okay.
I mean, they clear you at 6 weeks.
Okay.
So I was cleared. But since I had a C-section, I was like, I just need to like chill out. Maybe I just need to like really chill out. So that happened at 10 weeks. exactly 2 weeks after, another Saturday.
Damn.
My
So don't go near you Saturdays, basically.
yeah, don't go near on a Saturday. Like so, exactly 2 weeks after, on week 12, I went to a friend's bridal shower, and we were there, and all the family's there. She was a good friend of the family. She is a good friend of the family. And then I went home, and I got home around 8:45, 9 o'clock at night.
Bien tempranito.
Sí, bien tempranito. It was not late at all. It was 8:45 and 9 o'clock at night.
Right.
Yeah, and I was there, and I sat down at the kitchen table, and as soon as I sat down, I felt the gush. I felt like it wasn't. I know you're a guy, and I know you don't get the full of it, but I'm telling you, it's a water hose. I just felt it come out. And I remember looking down. I was wearing pajama pants. I looked down, and Weecha was sitting in the living room, and I just said, "I'm bleeding again." And he just got up and started moving. Like he did not hesitate to get the baby's bag ready. Like what's the next step? Get on the phone, call 911. At this time, I'm getting up. I feel the blood just dripping down my legs, and I ran to the restroom, to the downstairs restroom, which is a half bath. Because in my head, I'm thinking, I'm going to sit on the toilet and I'm going to bleed out so I won't make a mess in the kitchen. And then as soon as I sat down, I thought to myself, I'm going to faint again. Because the way I did at the restaurant, I was like, I'm going to faint again. And for the paramedics to get my ass out of the restroom, since it's kind of like a tight restroom, it's going to be a pain in the ass. So I quickly got up and I just went to the kitchen, because at the time we had carpet in the living room and then it goes into the kitchen. So I said to myself, I'm just going to lay down on the kitchen floor. It's tile. I'm just going to lay down on the kitchen floor and bleed out. That way the mess is easier to pick up.
Okay.
So I laid down. I remember sitting down on the kitchen floor, right by the refrigerator. Okay. And
I know where it's at.
Yeah, and right before I actually laid flat, Weecho did tell me the ambulance is on his way, and I said okay, and I said call Renee, and I fainted, like lights out.
Were you in pain?
No.
Wow.
I know it's the weirdest thing, because when I hemorrhaged both times, I was in no pain, no cramps, nothing, like nothing. I'm telling you.
What about like nauseous? Or?
No, nothing.
Wow. So it's just like boom.
Boom. Yeah, literally.
Wow.
Like nothing. And the reason I said call Renee is because at the time they had just had the baby as well. They had their second daughter 8 days after. Lucia. Mm-hmm. So they had the diapers and the milk, and they had the supplies to take care of a baby. So right before I passed out, like I said call Renee, and I passed out.
Y'all are compadre with Renee, no?
Yeah, compadre. He actually, the week before this happened, Elizabeth and Renee had actually baptized the baby.
Ah, okay, cool.
Yeah, so yeah, he's my compadre Renee. So that happened. I remember waking up. And when I woke up, I saw the ceiling of my kitchen, so I knew I was still in the kitchen.
Oh wow! Okay.
I just didn't know how much time had passed, and I felt like somebody was moving me. And it's crazy because whenever you bleed out like that, you lose all of your forces. You have no strength. I honestly felt like if I ran a marathon. A full marathon, I was just so exhausted. I was drained, literally. Wow. I had nothing. Yeah, I had nothing in me. So then I said, I felt the paramedics kind of moving me around, and I couldn't really open my eyes to look or bring my head up to see who was there or to even get up. I just couldn't. I had no strength, and I remember saying, where's Renee? Mm-hmm. And I don't remember seeing him. I remember hearing his voice, and I remember him saying, I'm here. or I'm here, comadre, or he said something like I'm here. I remember that. And I just nodded my head and lights out again.
Boom. Wow.
And every time I remember every time like I would wake up, like I would feel gush, like just gushes coming out still.
So you're in and out.
Yeah, I was in and out. And then I remember getting into the ambulance. And by this time I was already like probably 9:30, 9:45 almost. They took me in the stretcher, took me in the ambulance. And I remember the paramedics, or like actually getting into the ambulance, I remember Renee's voice again. I never saw Renee. I just heard him.
He's so pure, that's why.
Yeah.
Like he fucking is.
Yeah, Renee is.
He's good. Dude.
Hey, if he's not your emergency contact, you should make him your emergency contact.
Oh, he'll be there.
Dude, he'll be there.
We
should make merch that says like MAGA hats. Make Renee your emergency contact.
I call Renee all the time when I have Bible questions, but anyways.
Oh yeah.
Anyways,
he's the go-to. But no, like he's my emergency contact for everything.
He's fucking good dude.
Yeah,
Man.
he's a solid guy. But I remember him telling me, don't worry about the baby, comadre, I got her.
Right.
Like I remember that, but
right.
I don't remember seeing him. So me quedé con la paz. Like I stayed with that peace that
baby's good.
That the baby's okay.
Right. Which you can do whatever.
Yeah,
you come to the hospital with me.
Yeah.
Go wherever, and the baby, no worries.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And that's not easy, dude. Where you can trust your baby around people.
Yeah.
It's a difficult thing to trust your baby, like with anybody nowadays. Like, cause we see all this stuff, right?
I'm choking over here.
Like that goes to show
what
you.
You put in this water.
But that goes to show you like the caliber of people that Renee and Elizabeth are.
No, absolutely.
I mean, like when, I'm gonna go in a tangent here. Like I'm just going off fucking subject.
It.
So like when I have my girls with me, and we go somewhere, and his girls, me and them, I feel good, man. Like they're watching them, right? Like
yeah,
yeah, it's cool, right? Like
yeah,
and it's
you have that vibe, you have that circle of people
right,
that you're just like,
right,
I can be myself, I can just
can
let loose,
and that's awesome.
Yeah, it's important to have that.
Yeah, Juan and Sabby's girls when they watch them, obviously Carla and Nelly,
girls,
just good, pure fucking people, man.
Good, yeah, pure family.
Yeah, and like like
I get
you
it.
love my girls, man. Like I fucking love you, right? Like,
absolutely.
Anyways, I'm sorry.
No,
I
you're
didn't
fine.
mean to hijack you there, but it's
so
important.
I got into the ambulance, and they took me to the nearest hospital, which is 1.3 miles from my house. Literally not even a 3-minute drive. 3-minute drive with the stoplight. Like it's that close to the house. So I get there, and they take me out of the stretcher. No, I'm sorry. They put the stretcher in the ER, and they put me automatically into a trauma bay. And I remember just people coming in and out. I remember people just I remember them trying to stick IVs in me, but they stuck me a bunch of times because they couldn't find my veins because my veins were collapsing.
Damn it!
Because I was losing so much blood. I don't remember very much of the ER. I do remember every time I would wake up, just like more gushes of blood coming out. At this time, they were already recycling blood. Like they were already putting blood in me just to keep me alive. And I don't know if you know this, but when the human body is shutting down, everything is coming out, as in like number 1 and number 2, like that, everything is coming out. At this point, every time I would wake up, I would feel just like everything coming out, just my body's shutting down. I didn't know that at the time. So now with the research that I've done, I know that like that's a sign that your body's shutting down. They called the OB-GYN on call to come and basically assess the situation to see what was going to happen. I think I got to the hospital probably around 9:45, 10 o'clock. And the doctor came. Like I said, I don't know the time frames because I wasn't awake. I mean, it was hard for me to stay awake. I got to the doctor came and assessed the situation probably around 11:45 midnight. And I remember his voice because I just couldn't open my eyes. It was really hard for me. I couldn't even sit up. I had no strength. And I remember the doctor talking to Juan Luis. I remember that hearing their voices. And I remember him saying to Juan in the conversation, I remember him saying, we're going to do an exploratory surgery. We're going to try to stop the bleeding. And if I can't stop it, then our other choice would be to take her uterus out. And Juan Luis said, okay. And the doctor basically gave him two choices. We can either go in there, stop the bleeding, sew her back up, and that's done. Or we can stop the bleeding and see what's going on and potentially just take the uterus out, because this might happen again. I just can't guarantee you if it is or if it's not.
So at that moment,
and it's crazy because, like,
tell me what goes through your head. Like,
see, I was in and out. I was hearing them. I was in and out. But at that time, you need to understand, like, when it comes to medical, the healthcare, and somebody can't make a medical decision, they go to the next of kin, which in this case, it was Huicho. I mean, Huicho was there. He's my husband. He's the one that had to make the medical decision for me. And Juan did decide, like, just take the uterus out. Like, I can't. And we've talked about it, right? We've talked about it, and we've talked about it in the past. And he tells me all the time, like, it's just not worth it. Like, it's not
the risk of losing.
It's not the risk of losing. He's like, and he's told me before, like, I can't imagine raising our daughter without you. Like, I would rather have one kid and raise her with you than to, like, be selfish and just want more children. Like, we got married for each other. We didn't get married to have kids. Like,
that's a bonus.
Yeah. So for me, like, when that happened, the doctor was like, okay. They wheeled me into the OR, and I still couldn't open my eyes. I didn't have the strength. I didn't have the strength to open my eyes. And the doctor tapped me on the face. He didn't, like, slap me across the face, but he slapped me a couple times on my face. And he said, did you hear what I said? And I just nodded my head. And he says to me, repeat what I said. And I still couldn't open my eyes. I couldn't even sit up. I couldn't even move my arms. Like, I just couldn't. I had no strength. Not that I didn't want to. I just didn't have the strength. And he says, and I said to him, you're going to go in. You're going to do an exploratory surgery. And if you can't stop the bleeding, you're going to take my uterus out. And he said, okay, let's go. That was it. And I woke up. I think I went into surgery around 12:45, 12:30 to 1 o'clock in the morning. I went into surgery, and then the next time I wake up, I woke up and I was confused. I didn't know what happened, like what was wrong. But when I woke up, I was intubated. My hands were tied to the bed rails. So when I woke up, I was shaking. I was shaking a lot. I remember my dad was in the room. I think my mom was in the room, and I think at that time, like, when I woke up, my mom went to go get Juan from the lobby, or somebody went to go get somebody, and I know Juan came in, and I was just shaking. I was shaking, and because I didn't understand why my hands were tied to the bed rails. I was like, what the fuck? Like, you panic. Like, imagine you wake up and you're tied. Like, what? Like, literally, my first thought was, what the fuck? So my hands were tied to the bed rails, and I was shaking. I was crying. I wanted to scream, and I couldn't. There's a tube down my throat. Like, and a nurse walks in, and she's, like, frantic, and Juan's like, is there any way that we can calm her down? Like, and I remember the nurse saying, yes, I'll get something. And she walks out, she walks back in. And when she walks back in, I see, like, a syringe in her hand. I see that she has, like, a medicine. And she walks towards me on my left side, and I'm looking at her. I can't tell her to not touch me, because I have a tube in my throat. And she comes towards my neck, And I remember closing my eyes and just kind of like wanting like to push her away, but I couldn't because my hands were tied. But I remember wanting her to not touch me. But it was weird to me because she came towards my neck, and I just passed out again. I passed out as soon as that happened. I passed out again, and then I woke up hours later, and as soon as I woke up, Juan was there, and Juan tells me from the get-go, he's like, "Hey, just chill."
So you were freaking the fuck out then?
Yeah, because I didn't know why my hands were tied.
And you're just,
I don't know why I had a tube in my throat. Like I was literally like King Kong. Like I just wanted to get off of the bed.
in that time, like, so, and I know this is deep, and you don't have to answer this one. Did you feel crazy? Did you feel crazy in your head? Because I've gotten to points in my life where I go through some stuff, right? And then it's like, in that moment, sometimes you think to yourself, am I fucking crazy? Like, am I real? Like, if
I did. Like I thought like okay. I have lost my shit. Like I literally said like I'm a controlling person. I like to be in control. You know, I like to have things in order, have things my way. And if things aren't my way, I make them my way, and I make them to where they can accommodate me and things like that. But in that situation, I couldn't do anything. Like
and it drove you.
It drove me nuts.
It drove you mad.
Right?
Right?
And it honestly, like it doesn't. I think when I woke up that first time before, you know, I fell asleep again. It wasn't like 10 minutes. It wasn't more than 10 minutes. Like, cause I was freaking out.
Wow.
I was shaking. I wanted to like get off of the bed. Like I wanted to rip the.
So aggressive.
Yeah, I was aggressive. I wanted to rip my hands off of the bed rail, and I wanted to like yank the tube out of my mouth. But that's why they tie you down. They restrain you. That's why, because your first thing was take that tube out of the mouth. Yeah.
So uncomfortable, I imagine.
Yeah, it's so uncomfortable.
Is it painful? Like, I mean,
it was painful.
At that, okay, so now you're starting to feel, but just based on what they got you on, right? Like the restraints, the tube down.
It was painful because one, the tube's in your throat, and two, just your lips are dry. It feels like sand. Your mouth feels like sand. It's just dry. No, but like when I woke up that second time, Weecha was already there, and he tells me, hey, like, calm down. Like, you're okay. He talked to me from the very beginning. As soon as I woke up, he started talking to me from the very beginning, and he was like, just chill.
And that little soothing voice that he has.
Yeah. I mean, it was quiet. I was in the ICU. And it was just chill. And he just told me like, just chill out. Like, you're fine. And at this point I'm crying because I'm still confused and I have so many questions, but not like I don't have a way to say anything. Like, cause I had the tube in my mouth. Like I was intubated. And you know me, dude, I can't stay quiet. So I tell Weechel, I sign to Weechel. And he was like, what? I'm gonna do it again. And, make the hand motion again. And, he runs out to the nurse's station and he brings me a clipboard and a pencil and a piece of paper. And, I start writing down things. I start asking questions. I wanted to know, like, and then at that time, like, things started coming back. I remember, like, I think I was like, okay, I was bleeding at home. I hemorrhaged at home. And then I was like, shit, the baby. And so I wrote down baby ? And I wasn't writing full sentences because my hands are restrained. So it was just like main, yeah. It was like main, yeah, just main words in a sentence, and you put your sentence together.
Like the way I write now. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, the way you write now. Your text messages now make sense.
Right. I'm kind of restrained,
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah. So I remember writing down baby, and he says to me, she's at home, Renee, and Renee, I think he said Marcos as well with Renee. I think Marcos also went with her, but he said Renee and Marcos took her back home. Your grandma's there at the house. And I was like, okay. Boom. Like that eased
calms
me.
You down.
Yeah, that calmed me down quick.
Gotcha.
And then and I was just tired, and I remember Weechel telling me like, get some rest. Like we'll talk later. Just get some rest.
Wow.
And I was like, fuck no. Like I have questions. Yeah, otra vez, like la manita con el lápiz.
Let
Like,
me use my strong hand.
let me use my strong hand.
So you're communicating with Huicho.
I communicate.
You're starting to feel better.
No, not really.
Oh, really? You start. Oh God! So it gets.
I don't know. Like I still had so many thoughts.
Really?
I still had so many thoughts. I remembered. I remember. Like I thought. Like why did that nurse come to my left side and come towards my neck? And then I felt something on my neck. I really did. I felt something here when I woke up that second time. I felt something. And I wrote down neck ? And then Juan's like, he reads it. And then Juan's like, no, there's nothing on your neck. And then I was like, no, there is something. And I asked, like, I pointed to it again. And then he told me, oh, on this side you have tape. And then I wrote back, why? And he said, he tells me they couldn't find your veins, and the only vein they could get was the one on your neck. So they
Carotid artery.
Yeah, yeah. So he said they have an IV in your neck, and then they have the tape.
Mm-hmm.
The tape is what I felt, because it had some of my hair in it too. Like I could feel it like tugging on my hair. And then I just okay. And like it started to make sense a little. And then, at one point I asked him, who's all here? No. I asked him, what day is it? Cause I didn't know how long I was out for. Like it just didn't make sense to me. And he told me, he was like, it's Sunday and it's 1:00 in the afternoon. And I was like, okay. And I was like, okay, like now, like I'm starting to piece my time frame together.
Right. So now a day.
Yeah, it happened Saturday night. So
Saturday night.
Sunday.
You're into this.
Yeah, I was intubated. And then, so I wrote that down. And then I asked him at one point, uterus ? And he looked at it. And he looked back at my mom. And he didn't want to say it. And he just looked at it and he's like, we'll talk later. And then I circled it like, no, like I want to know. And that's when he told me they took your uterus out. And I said, okay. And I remember being like super chill about it. I was like, okay. Like it, like no me había caído el 20. Like it just didn't set. And I just said, okay. And that was it. Like that was it of that conversation. And then I guess shift change came, and one of the, I guess you can say a lighthearted story about this all. I had this nurse that came in, and he was a big nurse, an older man. And he comes in and he's like, hi sir, what can I do for you, sir?
Era del Valley.
That was my question. Like as soon as I saw him, he was like, "Yes, ma'am. What can I do for you, sir? Does she need a blanket, sir? Yes, sir. No, sir. Yes, I'll get the ma'am a blanket and things like that." And I was like, "Este güey es el Valle." Like
956 all the way.
956 all the way. I was like, I know when I see it. So then I wrote down Nurse Valley, and Juan looks down at the. Sorry, I'm crying here. Juan looks down at the piece of paper and he looks at me and he goes, I'm not asking him that. And then I'm telling you, I was like adamant that I needed to communicate. And at that point, like I needed a little joke. Like I needed something to feel normal. Mm-hmm. You know how our family is too. Mm-hmm. We like live on comedy.
Right.
We
dark
live on
humor.
Yeah, we live on that.
So have you not seen my other podcast?
Yeah, I'm telling you, if you don't have dark humor in this family, you ain't gonna make it.
No, you won't. You won't.
Yeah. So then I remember circling it, and the nurse was right there, and he was like, "What does she need, sir?" And then he's like, she wants to know if you're from the Valley. And he goes, born and raised in Rio Grande City. I was like, damn. I knew it. Oh, shit. I knew it. Like, I just knew it. And then his name is Homero, and he actually retired already. But he was a really good nurse. But I had that. I had that in me that I needed to keep on going with that.
Right.
So I remember writing down, take the tube out. And Juan's like, well, you know, there's a process to it. And at the time I wasn't in healthcare, so I didn't really know how it worked. And Juan's like, well, there's a process to it. And they need to turn off a machine so you can breathe on your own before they take the tube out. And I was like, okay. And I wrote down, what's the process? You're going to tell me what the process is, because I'm going to get through it, because I can't. Having this tube down my throat just sucks. Yeah. And he says, the nurse came in, and the nurse, you know, explained to me the whole gist of it. And she basically said, like, well, you need to be awake for them to be able to take it out. So we can't give you any more sedatives or anything like that, because we need to turn off the machine to see if you can breathe on your own. From then, I was like, I'm on a mission. Don't give me anything. Like, every time she'd come in and she's like, you know, do you need gabapentin? Do you need like all these painkillers? No. Like, gotta stay up. Give me that shit after that tube is out. Like, I didn't want to take, my fear was like, if I took more painkillers, it was gonna knock me out. And then I felt like if I knock out and the respiratory therapy comes by, like, I'm gonna miss them. Like, I need to stay awake
to get this thing out.
Get this thing out.
That's what she said.
Dumb.
Hold on, I'll get a water, but this is getting good. Hold on. Damn it, I'm out. Okay, no big deal.
Ahí está el zinc.
Fuck, man. Oh, Linda's gonna laugh her fucking ass off.
Hi. No. A ver, enséñale a la camera.
This is for you, Linda.
That's for you, Linda.
Linda, speaking of Linda, we're gonna go back to your story, because man, fuck, it was getting too good. But like, that laugh really kind of just, whew, we needed that, man. It was like to get back. You know,
with the.
Yeah, that's a strong story, dude. Like, like, and I'm sure there's more to it still, right? But so Linda and Alex, another place where my girls are home, dude. Like.
Oh yeah, Linda. I'm home at Linda and Alex.
Dude, I'm home there. Like,
I know.
Just
in Casa Hogar.
See, when I get there,
shout out to Casa Hogar.
Right, Linda, here's my kids.
Yeah, no, literally here.
I'm gonna go lay down.
No, I get there and I'm like, pamper me.
Yeah. Linda's so badass, dude. Like,
oh man, I love Linda. That's for you, Linda. The Capri Sun and for Nancy.
See, pinche Nancy también. Anyway, oh man.
So yeah, I was hellbent. I got to get this tube out. I just needed to. I literally needed to drink some water.
Right.
That was my thing. I needed to drink some water because it was bad. So I probably around 6:00. And dude, one thing I hate about the ICUs that I've noticed, like wherever the hospital bed is at, like right in front of you on the wall, there's a clock. Dude, they need to change that around. Because I kept staring at that clock, and every hour that would pass by, I'm like, dude, that's another hour that respiratory is not here. There goes another hour. There goes another hour.
But you know what? I bet they get tired of people asking them what fucking time it is.
Oh, no, I'm sure, dude.
So they're like, fuck it. Put them 3 clocks in this bitch.
I'm sure. I'm sure.
Put a fucking wristwatch on them.
Put a wristwatch on. No, but I was hellbent. I needed to get that tube out of my throat. So finally, probably around 6:20. It was around 6:20 that same day, Sunday. Respiratory comes through. And they said to me, we're going to take this tube out, but we need you to breathe on your own. I was like, oh my God. I was like, please, my lungs do not fail me now. Like I was like, they turned off the machine. I remember hearing the machine go off. And I was literally like, see, I'm like proving to everybody. I'm like, watch me breathe.
I'm staying alive.
I need to. Estoy moqueando de llorar. I need to prove to everybody that my lungs are working. So
now you're not breathing because it's like
the machine breathes for you,
right? But like I'm saying, like you're that weak, or there's a failure.
No. So you're intubated. So before you go into any surgery, a scheduled surgery, they always tell you stop eating at midnight the night before. That way your stomach is empty, because when you have surgery the next day, you're not like throwing up. And they don't on the table
or shitting everywhere.
Yeah, or shitting everywhere. But no, like it's so you're not throwing up. for me, I didn't have that option. It was like an emergency surgery. So they intubated me and they kept me intubated just in case I threw up or aspirated or anything like that. Because the last thing that you want to do is throw up and it goes back into your lungs. Because then it'd
be a bad day.
You drown in your own vomit, and that's gross.
And it'd be a bad day.
It'd be a bad day for you.
It wouldn't be a good one.
It wouldn't be a good one for sure.
It'd be a good one if somebody has life insurance on that ass. But anyways,
that's another.
That's another pro.
That's another topic. That's another podcast. I pretty much it was around 6:20, 6:30 p.m. They did ask Weechel, do you want to stay while she gets the tube taken out, extubated, or do you want to leave? And I remember he looked at me, and I guess he saw the fear in my eyes. And I'm over here like, don't leave me, because this I don't know how this is gonna go. Just don't leave me. And he looked at me and he's like, do you want me to stay? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, okay. And I remember he stood at the edge of the bed, and I had, both sides, the respiratory therapy people there. And I think I had a nurse in their room as well. And they took out the tube so fast. I swear to you, that tube went like all the way down. Like it was
wow.
the most painful thing.
Wow.
It was pain trying to getting that tube out. Cause they do it so, I don't know if they do it so fast or what. Mm-hmm. It was painful. And then as soon as they did it, they told me, don't talk too much because your vocal cords have basically been damaged or sore. I said, okay. And yeah, like I had a raspy voice for like a full 2 weeks. But I felt so good. I felt good taking that tube out, drinking water, eating ice chips. I felt like I could drink a whole gallon, like a cold gallon of water. Cause it was just really dry. Mm-hmm. At this time, the night nurse comes in, and it was this, I swear to you, it was like this little bitty nurse, little skinny little thing, young looking little thing. And I saw her, and me and Weechel looked at ourselves like, man, this nurse is going to suck.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. She's just a pretty thing walking around.
Yeah. I was like, this little girl's like a Barbie doll, like a Hispanic Barbie doll. I mean, I was like, this girl's not going to cut it.
Venía con tortilla de harina.
Ya mero. No, her nails were done.
Oh, damn.
Like she was a cute little thing, but I was
shit.
like, she ain't gonna make it. Like she's not gonna cut it to be my nurse.
Oh wow.
Let me tell you something. That was the best damn nurse I've ever had.
Wow.
She walked in. And
did she know me or what? Like,
did she what?
You think she knew me?
I think so. Stop.
Another bad joke. Anyways.
So I remember.
What was her name? Do you remember?
Desiree, I think.
Desiree, no shit.
She
Desiree Sanchez?
No, I don't think so.
I just made that up. Anyways.
I'm like, I don't think so.
Nah, not Sanchez. She was Martinez.
No. So I remember she walked in, and she was like, hi. She was bubbly. She was like, hi. I'm gonna wash your hair. And I'm over here like, okay.
Wow, yeah.
I was like, okay, like I guess. I mean, I at this point I was like, I don't even remember when the last time I washed my hair, but sure.
She were herbal essence.
I guess so. I don't know, but I mean, she washed my hair.
She was
and
cool.
I mean, when you're in the ICU, they don't really have private showers in there. They just have like a toilet that like goes underneath the sink.
Okay.
And then it's all open. It's glass doors because they need you're being monitored 24 hours a day. So she washed my hair. She literally sponge bathed me. I was on survival mode. At that point, I was just I needed to keep going. Mainly, I needed to get out of the hospital. I had a baby at home. So I was there, and then they moved me from the ICU to a regular room. When they moved me to the regular room, I had visitors and all that, and I went home, and they just released me just like that. When they did discharge me, they did tell me I needed to make an appointment with the surgeon that did the surgery on me. So a week later, I made the appointment, and then I went to go see the surgeon, and it was the OB-GYN, the OB-GYN doctor, and of course, I mean, I'm a new patient because he's never seen me. I mean, only the day of the surgery, the emergency surgery, and he walks into the room, and me and Juan are sitting there in the room, and he looks at the chart, and it's like empty because I have no history with them, and he says to me, "Oh, you're a new patient," and I looked at him, and I was like, "Yes," and then he said, "Okay, what can I help you with? Or what, did you just have your baby? Because I see a baby in the carrier, in the stroller. And I looked at him and I said, you don't remember me, do you?
Fool, we just did emergency.
Yeah. And I asked him, I was like, you don't remember me, do you? And he looked at me and he goes, no. And he says to me, I don't. Like, I'm sorry, I don't know you. And then I said, you performed emergency surgery on me last like 8 days ago. And he looked at me and he goes, on a Saturday night? And I said, yeah. And he said to me, he literally looks at me, he looks at my face, he looks at my arms, he looks at he looks at me from like up and down. He just looks at me and he's like, he goes, honestly, I didn't know what color skin you were. He said, you were gray.
Oh, wow.
I lost all my color. And he's like, I'm sorry. He's like, I don't recognize you. And he goes, honestly, I'm surprised you're sitting here in front of me.
Oh, damn.
He said, because, once I did the surgery, I signed off and that was it. And he goes, I'm very surprised you made it. And I said, yeah, so am I. And then I asked him, out of curiosity, I said, how many units of blood did you give me? And he said to me, the human body, these were his exact words. He says, the human body holds 8 to 10 units of blood, depending on height, weight. He said, I approximately ordered 18 units for you. That's not counting what they gave you before and what they gave you after. But in surgery, I know at least 18. So that's how fast I was losing blood.
Damn.
That's how fast I was literally deteriorating. I mean, I was gone. So I do like, I mean, I still hold that physician, like that doctor, close in my heart. I will never forget him. I think if I see him anywhere, I'll give him a hug. Like I appreciate him. He's just somebody that I always hold close to my heart. I did try to make an appointment with them, for just like a regular well-woman visit a couple months ago, and he actually retired already.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But it's crazy how things work, because like, it's been 12 years, and about 2 years ago, I got home from work and I was checking the mail, and you know how they send you like ads in the mail, like just ads of like doctors or ads of like realtors and stuff. And, I got this ad in the mail for, a hospital, and it said, Dr. Emmett Bansal has moved. Now he's at this location. And I saw him and I was like, shit, I haven't seen this guy since then.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and it's him, it's his picture. And it's crazy because it was his picture on the ad. To this day, I still have that ad on my refrigerator.
Oh, wow.
And like, Weecha doesn't touch it. Lucia doesn't touch it. Like, it's there.
Sacred.
It's sacred. Leave his picture on my fridge. If you're on my fridge, you're sacred.
That's badass.
Like, his picture is still on my fridge. Yeah. And I've always held him really close to my heart.
Now, before you went through all this, you were already working in the medical field or no?
No, I was not working in the medical field. I was actually working in Galveston.
Okay.
No, I'm sorry. I was working in Spring Branch because I had just given birth to Lucia. After I gave birth, after all this happened, I started working in Galveston at a law firm. Uh-huh. Yeah, I mean, after that, just having to go through depression.
Tell me, depression.
That's a whole different ball game.
Okay.
Depression mixed with postpartum, mixed with trying to figure out a child. Because I just had a baby, so I need to figure out, her sleep pattern. I need to figure out everything with her, but I also need to figure out everything with me.
So you're depressed because you can't have any more babies? Is that or just postpartum?
I think it was both. The combination of like reality setting in, of it sinking in, hitting, and saying like, oh shit, like this is real.
Yeah.
This is real. Like this is done. Like the deal's done. Like there's no backing out of it. It is what it is.
Does that hurt a woman?
It does.
Yeah.
And for me, having the hysterectomy, I feel like I never fit. And to this day, I don't feel like infertile. Like, I don't feel like I'm part of the infertility group of women. I feel, I don't consider myself that. It is what it is. That's the cards that I was dealt. I remember thinking a lot like, I don't deserve it. Having survivor's guilt. Like,
Okay.
like I don't deserve this. Like, having people, when you walk into a room and having people stare and you know what they're thinking, but they won't say it. To this day, I mean, nobody's really asked me like, hey, are you okay? Nobody's asked me that. And nobody has really sat down to say like, you know what, it's okay to be mad. Because I was mad for a long time. I was mad at, I'll say it. I was mad at God. I was mad at the situation. I was never mad at Juan Luis. That's for sure. I was never mad at him for making the decision, because I think he made the right decision for our family. He made the right decision for us.
Made the right decision for you.
Yeah, for me, and like for us, like for us to raise this child together.
Because I'm pretty sure I'm sure he's thinking overall everything, but he's also looking out for you. Right?
Yeah,
like,
and we've talked about it since. I mean, it's been 12 years, and he'll tell me like, I live with that every day, and I still he tells me like, I still ask myself if I made the right decision. And I'm very appreciative of him making the right decision. I mean, I get to see my daughter, you know, I get to see her live a beautiful life.
I would rebuttal Wicho with saying, if he made the decision right then and there the way he made it, there's no other better decision he could have made. That was the decision. He made the best decision right then and there. Like,
yeah. And there was no time to think about it. Right. It wasn't like, okay, what do you want to do? No, it was right then and there.
And he made the right one.
Yeah.
Because had he felt any different, he would have made another decision. So, like, you know, you got to trust, especially your man, and like with your life, and I'm sure you do.
Yeah.
Because I tell you what, I'm sure he'd give his life for you.
Yeah.
I know that without even question, right?
Yeah.
Just like you'd give yours for him, right? Like,
yeah,
so,
absolutely.
You know, but you can't like.
It's
can't
something. It's really hard to like think back and just think like, what if?
So how are you then? You know, like you've said, you know, like
nobody's really asked.
Okay,
but thank you for asking.
So I mean, you know, it's cliche or whatever that I ask you now, but maybe it's people can't ask you because they don't know,
and they feel like they're opening up the wound.
Right.
Absolutely. I definitely think that, and I understand. We're human. Mm-hmm. We're human, and it's just the way our culture is, or the way us as humans are. I'm doing good. I went through my depression phase, like maybe it was 2 years. I was on antidepressants, and that was hard. Antidepressants are a whole different animal.
I got to cut you here.
Yeah.
This depression that you went through, this is past tense.
Yeah, I consider it past tense. It was like the 2 years after everything happened, probably 2-3 years.
And how about from right now? How long ago?
Well, like 9 years ago.
Okay, so
yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. There are still times where I'm like, shit. Like, they're so, especially when I hear like children being dropped off at the fire station, or like children being hurt, like because their moms are pieces of shit.
Yeah. And dads. But there's a bunch of people.
Yeah, and dads. And for me, I feel like I have so much to give to a child. I have so much love to give to a child. I have a family to give to a child, and I wasn't given that. So like, I'm not gonna lie, I was really pissed off at God. I was really mad. I was really mad that I was given these cards and nobody had the answer why. Nobody could tell me why it was dealt to me. Nobody could tell me what was wrong. Nobody could tell me like that they related with me. Nobody can sit there and say like, oh, we know how you feel.
So you would say emotionally you've hit rock bottom.
I did hit rock bottom. I really did. I remember thinking to myself, like, is it really worth living a life?
Oh, wow.
I really did think that. I think I told one person, I don't want to say her name, but I told one person, I did tell one person that I told her, like, I just don't see myself like moving forward. Like, I don't want to feel this way. I think my husband deserves somebody that can give him a family. Like,
but you guys are a family. Right?
Yeah. And yes, we are a family. But at the time, I was just desperate for help. And at that time, like, I think Juan got like super alert with everything and the way I was feeling and everything. And I'm not gonna say he was very proactive about it. And not many people know this, but he removed all the guns from the house. And I thank him for that. Like, I don't think I've ever told him, but I do think that, and I appreciate him for doing that. Because I think if I would have, I mean, who knows where my depression would have led to me. He kept him away from the house for a solid, like, 2 years, maybe a year and a half, 2 years, before he brought them back into the house. And it was very subtle. Like, when he brought them back, I don't think he ever told me. It was just one time I was probably like putting something in his closet, and I saw them, and I was like, oh, they're back, you know. Mm-hmm. But I was finally, at that point in my life, I had already conquered so much. I had already conquered feeling that way, and I felt good. I felt good about life. I felt good about everything.
What led you to? How did you conquer that? Like put us in your position of, you've hit rock bottom emotionally. You don't even want to be here anymore, to the point where these things start happening to you. How do you overcome that? Like, what?
Well, I took antidepressants for about a year. Mm-hmm. The antidepressants made me so slow. Wasn't me, made me feel numb. I didn't like it. Mm-hmm. It's just, it wasn't my thing. I'm a very active person. Like, if I get things done, let's go. But the antidepressants just slowed me down. Didn't like them. I finally, I started working in healthcare, started helping people. At the time, I got a job. I moved positions to the medical center. I went to the medical center and started working there. And I started just helping people in their cases. And that really helped me. I feel like it helped me. Helping other people helped me, mm-hmm, like, overcome a lot, and overcome just going home and not like people not needing me. I mean, my daughter's very independent. Ever since she was little, she was very independent. So just being involved in healthcare, learning healthcare terms, learning medical terms, learning a lot of things, that helped me a lot. Mm-hmm. I think one of the points in my depression that I think it was one of the last things in my depression that I went through. My daughter was about 4 years old, and she had a toddler bed, and she had in her room. It was a nursery. She had her toddler bed plus the crib, plus the two little chests of drawers and all that, having them in there. And Weechel texted me a link. It was like a Facebook ad or Craigslist or something. He texted me a link, and it was furniture. It was children's furniture. And I remember telling him, "Oh, it's nice." And it was just like, it was like a bed, like a twin bed, and drawers, a drawer set, and all that. And I just texted back saying, "Oh, it's nice." Well, the next day I get home from work, and the furniture is in my living room. The furniture that I had said it's nice. I didn't say like, "Hey, let's buy it." I just said, "Hey, it's nice." It was in my living room. And then I shit you not, like, I lost my shit. But I lost it, and I remember yelling at Juan. I remember just confronting him about it and telling him, like, I'm not ready for that. Like, I'm not ready for her to grow up. And for me, that was the most painful part, that I knew that she's growing. Like, physically she's growing, mentally she's growing, but I'm not ready for that. Like, I still want that baby, because this is the only child that I'm going to have. Oh. So I wanted that baby still. And by him purchasing the furniture, and you might think, like, man, that's like it's like all of a sudden you didn't even give her time. But honestly, I think it was the best thing for him to do, just to rip the Band-Aid off and say, look, the furniture's here, it's happening, and it has to happen. Right. You can't keep her in a toddler bed until she's 10. Right. So for me, like, walking in on that, seeing the furniture, I just lost my cool. I remember yelling at him. I remember, like, I mean, I didn't physically attack him, but like my words were harsh. And I just told him, like, you don't fucking understand. And he's like, you know what? You're right. I don't understand what it's like to be in your shoes right now, but you need to understand that she needs you, but she also needs to be in a regular room and not a toddler bed for the rest of her life. And for me, I felt like I just needed to hang on to that more. And I remember telling him, okay, fine. Like, I calmed down, and we started transitioning, the bedroom and all that. And he told me, you know, what are you gonna do with the furniture? He didn't tell me like, let's sell the furniture, and which was I was grateful for. I still wanted to hang on to that furniture, to the baby furniture, and we moved it to the game room, and he said, you know what, we'll just deal with that whenever you're ready. Mm-hmm. So I said, okay. Months later, I said, you know what, I'm ready to let go of the furniture. And he's like, okay, you know, it's your call. He put the ball in my court and said, it's your call. That's something that you can do. And I said, okay. So I took pictures of all the furniture and I posted it on like Facebook. And of course I posted it like $700 where nobody's going to fucking buy this furniture.
So you're giving it a crutch.
I was giving it because I posted it saying to myself, oh, I'm going to post it. You know, I'm going to get through this. But I also posted it for $700 where nobody's going to fucking buy it. Right. So I still was hanging on to it. So I was like, hell yeah, nobody's buying it. Better for me. Right. So I just let it be. I was like, you know what? And honestly, I think I got like 0 hits on it, which is fine. I'm still holding on to the furniture. Mm-hmm. And I left the furniture in my game room for the longest time. A couple years later, Hurricane Harvey hits. And out of nowhere, Comadre Elizabeth texted me. And she said, hey, do you still have that furniture for sale? And I was like, oh. So I wanted to say no and I wanted to say yes, but I knew the way the situation that Harvey happened, you know, where it flooded the entire city. I knew she was asking for a reason. Right. So I said, yeah, comadre, you know, I still have the furniture. And she said, well, name your price. I'll buy it from you. And I was like, fuck, like, I really don't want to sell it.
$700, baby.
Yeah, I could have been, yeah, $700. I should have said 1,000. Right. But I really didn't. I really wanted, and then it's not because of my comadre Elizabeth. I didn't want to let go of the furniture. Mm. It's a beautiful set. I really did not want to let go of it. And she said, I'll buy it from you. Name your price. And I'm like, and I was like, I just texted her back and said, come pick it up, comadre. Just come pick it up. And she said, no, really, name your price. And I'm like, nah, just come pick it up. And she texted me and she told me, well, her cousin that lives out in Crosby got hit with the flooding and all that. And his wife was about to have a baby. It was like a week. She was doing a week or something like that. They had lost all their baby items and everything. So she wanted to purchase the crib for me to give to her cousin. And she told me, and I moved, you know, the stuff was already downstairs, and she came by and picked it. I think her and Renee came by and picked it up. And I remember just like holding that furniture, and I was like, okay, like it's helping somebody else. It's not like somebody that just wants baby furniture. It's helping somebody else. So that helped me, knowing that it's helping somebody else. So that was a big hurdle for me. And I think whenever, you know, she left, I cried. Like I cried because I felt like, okay, that's it. Like that's it. Like that's like the last big thing of my daughter's childhood.
Of me holding on.
Yeah, me holding on to something that I'm not going to get back. I'm not going to get her childhood. But I mean, I still have my daughter and I still have like, you know, little clothes and things like that, blankets that she used as a baby. But that was the big thing for me.
Right. You're letting go of the physical stuff.
The physical stuff that still had as a baby. Like that was still.
But then it's like at the moment you don't remember that. Like you have these memories. You have her. Yeah. You have her future. You have your husband, your family. Like that is a family, right? Like so. Yeah. At the time you're in this depression where it's just like you don't see in this, you know, like. Yeah. And now you can step back and just say, "Damn it," like. You know, yeah. But in the moment, yeah. You don't see it that way.
Yeah, I mean, I've came a long way. I will tell you, like one thing that's really hard is being a part of a big family that just keeps growing.
Right.
I think it's hard for my daughter, especially a couple years ago. Like it was hard for her because we would go to gender reveal parties, we would go to baby showers, things like that, and that was hard for her. I know she'd came home and be like, "Right, when am I going to experience that?"
Well. I get it, and it sucks, right? Like,
but she loves being around all these kids. Like, whenever she has all of her cousins and your girls, like, she loves being around all that, all the chaos and the madness and the loud and all that.
And it's hard because, like, yeah, maybe you would have wanted more, right? But
absolutely.
you have one that's healthy.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
like,
I'm very blessed. She's as healthy as a horse. I mean, that girl, she's healthy and she's
and maybe
good.
she would have wanted that, you know, but then again, like, man, I think you guys made the right decision regardless. And even though it threw you in like one of the worst depressions in your life,
Yeah.
you came out of it. You got yourself out of that. And I think it shaped you to be the parent you are today, right?
Absolutely. I've definitely, you know, it's really easy for a parent to say like, oh, I'm going to give my kid everything that they want. I'm going to give my kid everything. Anything my kid wants, they're going to have it. I don't care what the cost is. You know, I have learned, and with my one child, like sometimes I got to keep her hungry and I got to keep her cold. Mm-hmm. So she appreciates things. So she knows her background and where we came from, that we didn't have everything growing up. I mean, hell, we lived off of garage sales. So we still have hand-me-downs and stuff like that, you know, and it's okay to live like that. This
is a hand-me-down.
That's a hand-me-down.
It looks like one. But no, I agree.
I'm looking at my shirt. I'm like, who gave me this? Who gave me this? Oh, you know who gave me this? Linda.
Oh, damn. That Linda girl, she's kind of famous around here, man.
You know it.
So I'm the same way. I think parenting, like, I know it's a big deal for you, big deal for me, big deal for a lot of us.
Yeah.
And, like, I think we're doing all right.
Yeah, we're doing all right. I mean, I think the hardest part, too, was, like, not being able to talk to people, not being able to have people relate to me, not having people understand, but to sit there and be like, oh, I know what you're going through. Like, nobody knows what I'm going through. Like, nobody, but then again, nobody knew how to help me. Right. It was just a whole different ballgame. It was different. Even like my own family, like my mom, my brothers, my sister, my grandmother, like it just, nobody could relate. And I think to this day, like nobody can relate because not a lot, that doesn't, like my situation doesn't happen to a lot of people.
Do you think in your state of depression that maybe becoming the parent, right, the parent you want to be, that you have to show, does that help you pull you out of that depression? Like in a way? Like,
yeah, I have to keep going. I have to keep going. Like I've said it before, like my kid's growing up and like I have to keep going. It keeps me out of that depression. And I think about it now and I think about, you know, the day that she grows up to be a full adult and is dependent, she moves out or goes off to college. Too far. I know, less than 10 years. I think about it, am I going to go back to that? And I've thought to myself, I need, like, and people say empty nester, you know, you're empty nester. For me, I feel that's it. Like, I need to find a hobby. I need to find what to do with my time after she moves out or she goes to college, and I need to find another focus point to not get back there.
I would tell you this, like, you might be an empty nester, like, per se. Yeah. But it's like my mom. I still call her. She still calls me, like, where are you at? Like, yeah, you're supposed to be here, and you're... Well, my dad's that way more than my mom. Like, ¿dónde estás? ¿Dónde andas? Like, I'm here at home. Like, fuck.
What do you want?
Right. Like, it's like, you said you were coming today. I was like, all right, we're getting ready to go to the pussy. Okay, I'll see you.
Oh, no, he's not waiting for you.
He's waiting for the girls.
He's waiting for the girls.
Exactly. Like, it's crazy.
They stopped caring about you. They now care about the girls.
So I think that's going to put you in a situation where you'll be waiting for grandkids one day, right? You know? Yeah. And then as you're waiting, you know, maybe just seeing what's happening is good. Yeah. Like, is she going to college? Oh, yeah. No. Okay. Wow. Like, she's doing good. She's doing this. She's going to move along. You shouldn't feel alone. Yeah. Like, and I know, like, I'm further away from being an empty nester than you, but yeah, I saw it a lot with my mom. Like, a lot of, like, she probably went through something like that. Like, all my kids are...
They're gone.
They're grown.
Yeah, they're grown.
Like,
but I felt with your mom, like, or I say this, like, it was stages. First it was Julio, and then Andres, and now, Roque. For me, it's like...
One and done.
Oh. And I look back now, and there's people that don't know my story, and they ask me all the time, like, oh, when are you and Weecher going to have another one? And my answer is always the same. Kids are just too damn expensive. Yeah. But because in my case, I would have to do the whole surrogacy thing and then paying somebody to have my baby. Like, I just, like, that's just, for me, my level of having another child and finances would just take a whole different turn. But at the end of the day, kids are expensive.
Right. Yeah. They don't. Yeah, exactly. Like,
Yeah.
I got lucky. I got 2 back to back. I mean,
Yeah.
they didn't come out of my body, so that's even better, right?
Right? No, but
you know, and it's
Yeah.
it's to me, it's I got lucky. Like, I have them, but because of my situation being divorced, it's a blessing because at least they're together 100% of the time, right? So that's what saves me, you know, like it just gives me that peace of mind that,
yeah.
they're going back and forth, you know, not something I wanted to do, but it happened. It's the way it is. But at least they go together, you know, like they go together and they take care of each other.
Thelma and Louise.
Right. They're ride or die for each other. They really are. Like,
Yeah.
like the little one, she's something else, you know.
I
Like
know.
She takes care of the older one. Like,
She does.
So-
I've seen it. She does.
Man, I didn't think I'd get emotional, but that's
Kids
one
are
subject.
saving grace sometimes, and definitely I know for my kid, like she's my saving grace. I know she pulled me out of a lot of deep thoughts.
Yeah.
She really did, and I don't think she knows it now because she's 12, but I really appreciate her for that. And I think in the long run, she'll know and understand that she pulled me out of a really dark place,
Mm-hmm.
and it wasn't because she wanted to, but because it just happened. Like she had to. Like it was. I had to live for her, and it's funny because like the other day I was going through my Instagram, and I saw a picture that I posted. Actually, I posted on her birthday, and this past year, and it's a baby picture of her. It's a baby picture of her eating ice cream, and I'm holding her, and she's like eating this little Dairy Queen ice cream, and I'm just like looking at her smiling. And I looked at that picture, and the first thing I said to myself was, if only she would know how much in a deep hole I was at that given time.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Like you would have, smiles are very deceiving.
Oh yeah.
And she, like that picture really gets to me because I know how much of a black hole I was.
Right. That feeling.
The feeling of being.
That emotion.
Like nobody knows that. Nobody knows. I know that, but
That's the thing.
a
That we
picture.
have.
I mean, sometimes the picture doesn't say 1,000 words.
Right.
Like,
Sometimes it only wants to.
yeah.
It's crazy the way that works, right? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, trust me, I've been in that depression state, you know, and it's something that I don't wish that shit upon nobody.
Oh, nobody. I don't wish that on anybody. It's something that's, and everybody's depression is different. I get that. And mine was just a little different. My scenario was just a little different. You know, I'm not saying that it's anything more special than others. It's
and I don't look down upon anybody that's going through something.
No, but there is help out there.
There is help. Yeah.
And for me, like my depression, I felt like I couldn't talk to anybody because in my head, it's like, what are they going to say to me? They're going to say, look, you're glad, you should be happy you're alive. And number 2, you should be happy you at least have one. And every time somebody told me that, I felt like telling them, like, literally, yeah, like, F you. Like, you don't know everything that I've been through and what I'm still going through. Right. And I feel like whenever, and like I said, it's our generation, it's our culture. I feel like I couldn't go to my mom. I couldn't go to my sister. My sister and I are 10 years apart. Like, as a woman, whenever all this happened, she was 15. She was in a different world than me being 25 going through this. Like, she wouldn't understand me, and I wouldn't understand her. Like, it's just
the time.
It was the time. It was the time frame. My grandmother as well. Like, she would just say, like, you're lucky you have one, and you're lucky you're alive. No, like, I don't want to hear that. I want to hear that it's okay to be mad. And that's all I needed. Like, I just needed to hear that. Yeah. Nobody gave me that until I just set in. I'm like, you know what? It's okay. It's okay to be pissed off.
Why? Because it's a thing for yourself only.
Yeah.
So like, you're looking for help. Mm-hmm. And I get it. Like, yeah, you can find help. There's help out there. But that starts with you.
Yeah.
Like, you got to want to be okay with what happened. You have to accept it.
Yeah.
Like, it's denial, the acceptance, the hurt. Like, you got to go through it's a process to healing.
It's a process of healing.
Right.
And I just feel like it never fully heals. You never fully heal. That's for sure.
Right. You learn how to live with it.
You learn how to live with it. You learn how to deviate around it, around certain questions, around certain ideas. Right. One thing that did happen to me, complications of this all, a year and a half after I went through the hysterectomy, I started having abdomen pain, and I went back to the same doctor that did the surgery on me. And I went back to him and I said, hey, I'm having this pain, and it's kind of weird. Like, I'm not in like excruciating pain. It's just weird. I don't have a uterus anymore. I just don't know what this is. And he was like quickly, he was like, let's get you in. Let's do a vaginal ultrasound. Like, we'll figure it out. He was very attentive. He knew my history. So he was very attentive to like anything that I questioned or anything that I needed. And he did a vaginal ultrasound that same day. And he looks at the screen and he said, look, there's something there. I just don't know what it is. And at this point, I'm like, shit, well, what's left? Because my uterus is out. And he said, well, your ovaries are still in. There's something on your ovary. I don't know what it is. And I said, okay, well, what's the next step? And he says to me, I'm going to refer you over to an OB-GYN oncologist. So at this time, I'm not in healthcare. So I grab my phone and I'm like, what the hell's an oncologist? So I look it up and I was like, cancer? What the fuck? I was like, what the hell? I was like, I mean, I was doing sort of semi good. Like, now I'm going through this again. Like, what the hell? So I get home to Juan, and Juan's like, it was just one thing at a time. We did the MRI. We did everything. I went over to the oncologist. They said, you have a tumor on your right ovary. And we're thinking because of the body change that you did, the hormone change and all that, your ovary is just overreacting, basically. It's overreacting. It grew a tumor.
Or a cyst?
It was a cyst, but it just expanded and it grew into a tumor.
Gotcha.
Kind of the same, but it's kind of different. And I told the doctor, well, I'm not in any pain, like excruciating pain. And he said, yeah, it happens. And I said, okay. Did blood work and all that. Everything came out benign, blood work, but they still had to take the ovary out. They still had to go in there and take the cyst, the tumor out. So the doctor, the oncologist said, all right, so plan A, we're going to go in there laparoscopically, which is just like little 3 or 4 holes in your abdomen, try to take the tumor out. And I said, okay, and what's plan B? And he goes, well, and she goes, plan B is it's too big and we can't get it out through those little holes. So we're gonna have to cut you open. So in me, I'm like, it's laparoscopic. I mean, come on, that's like worst case scenario. Sure enough, it was too big. By the time when they found the cyst, it was the size of a baseball, the tumor. When they found it, it was the size of a baseball. When they took it out, it was the size of a basketball. So it was growing that fast because my hormones, it was feeding off of my hormones.
Okay, gotcha.
It was growing because of the hormones. So they cut me from belly button down. So that's another surgery, like having to go through that again. So to this day, I still have 1 ovary left. Still kicking. It's giving me problems every now and then. It does have a cyst on it that reacts or wakes up and gives me a lot of pain, but it hasn't grown into a tumor, so they don't want to take it out, because if they do take that last ovary out, then I have to be on hormones for the rest of my life, and they're trying to avoid that since I'm so young.
Right.
So they're trying to avoid that. But yeah, just going through that again, like, that's another hormone level. Like, I feel sorry sometimes for Juan because my hormones are like up and down. So
I'm sure he's one of the most understanding people you'll ever meet.
Yeah, poor guy. I feel bad for him sometimes. I'm just like, okay, I need to calm down. I need to chill out. Yeah. My hormones need to get back to like normal level.
So I'm sure he's watching this, right? When this thing goes on, what would you tell him? What would you want to let him know? And you would want everybody else to like hear this come from you. Maybe it's something you want to say. Maybe it's a message to him, something that, everything you've been through, this whole story, like, how does he fit into all this, right? Like, how does Huicho get that all together? You know what I mean? Like,
if anything, I'm confident he made the right decision for us as a family. For me, for him, for our daughter, I know he made the right decision. I don't ever want him to second guess if he made the right decision, or, should he have done that? He doesn't need to think that. I am confident and I know he did the right decision. We're raising a beautiful child. We're raising a beautiful human being that's crazy equally as us. That's crazy because she looks just like me. But we're raising this beautiful child, and I want to thank him for making the right decision at the right time and being so prompt about it, and not that I expected him to be selfish, because he's not. I wanted him to know that I think he made the right decision for us.
That's awesome.
Without a doubt. Like, I've never thought like, oh, he should have made this decision. I've never thought that.
Awesome. I'm sure that's brings maybe a little closure to both of you guys.
Yeah, maybe. Am I the first person to cry on this podcast? I don't think. I'm a crybaby at this stuff.
No, it's okay though. Like you gotta let it out. And I think that sometimes we don't let things out.
Yeah.
And this is what this whole thing's all about. Any final thoughts? Not like, what do you like? I don't know. Like, I mean, what kind of final thoughts at this point? That's a strong story. Like,
tomorrow's never promised.
Right.
That's my final thought on this. Tomorrow's never promised. I could have not made it out. Make those memories with your family, with your loved ones, because tomorrow's never promised to any of us. I think that's something that's really, really like engraved in my brain. Take those moments with family, take the trips, or take, make the dinners, make the birthday dinners, have those memories, take the pictures, just
call in work, call in sick to work.
Yeah, call in sick to work. Every now and then, not all the time.
Right. You still need money, right?
Yeah. Call in sick to work and just enjoy it sometimes. Go, if you've ever like second guess of going to your kids' school to have lunch, do it. Do it, because they're not gonna stay little forever. Like I said, tomorrow's never promised, because you never know.
Yeah.
You just never know if you're not gonna see that person again.
Right.
Because there was that one point where I almost left the house and I didn't come back.
All right. Nobody never knows it's your last day.
And
right?
it's crazy. Like, and I thought about this the other day. Renee and I have never had this conversation, and I feel like it's a conversation that's pending between me and him, because he was there. Mm-hmm. He was there. To tell you the truth, he cleaned up all the blood and all that happened. I want to say even my two sister-in-laws went over there and helped him clean up, but he was there. He was there, and he knows I appreciate him. He knows that I have, like, he's in my heart. Him and Elizabeth are in my heart. But I also feel like we don't need to have the conversation, because what's understood doesn't need to be explained. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think having that conversation with him is going to take a lot of liquid courage, maybe.
Well, I think what'll happen, I think the next time you guys see each other,
it looks like every other day.
Right. But this next time will be something different.
Yeah, maybe.
If he watches this thing, maybe it'll just be like
I don't know if he's watched any of them, so I don't know.
Who knows? We don't know, right?
Yeah.
I think this might be one he'd watch, though, right? Yeah. And who knows? Maybe I'll just smile and maybe I don't.
Yeah, I'm telling you, like, I guess for me and Renee, like, what's understood doesn't need to be explained. Right. That's for sure. Yeah. He knows, I know. The conversation's pending, but it's when I'm ready to have that conversation with him.
You're right.
And maybe it'll happen. Maybe it'll never happen, or maybe it will. I mean, I don't know. Who knows? I'm okay either way. There's nothing to like clear up. It's like, yeah. It's just one of those things where it's like, you were there. Well, let's talk about it. Let's not talk about it.
Right.
If it happens, it happens.
Well, I appreciate you coming on. I know it's a long drive.
No, it's fine. My parents don't live too far, so
cool.
I might just crash at their house.
Sounds good.
I gotta go home.
But I do appreciate it.
Yeah. This is not going to be my last time on this.
No, hell no. You coming back. If anybody wants to follow you, like, do you have an Instagram? Do you have a Facebook?
My Instagram, VEG.SADY. Okay. No, it's not Vegas Lady. Don't look for me as Vegas Lady.
Hey, maybe she'll change it.
Maybe I'll change it to Vegas Lady.
Yeah, people get curious sometimes. They want to
They want to ask me questions. Yeah, hey, I'm an open book right now. With all this, it's okay to ask, and it's okay to cry. Ask me if you have any questions. Right. I did find out years after that my condition is called uterine atony. 2 words: uterine and then atony. Worst case scenario of uterine atony is that it happens 12 weeks after birth. And for me, it happened 12 weeks after birth.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Go figure.
But I didn't know that term until, gosh, like maybe like 4 years ago, 5 years ago. But now that I have a label to it, I'm like, okay, that's a little chapter closed. Like it's a little closure.
Yeah. I think you did amazing, dude.
Thanks.
Like for future podcasters that are coming on to the channel here in the next couple of days, next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
What would you tell them? Like,
Hey, it's okay to cry. I already cried. It's okay to cry. I already cried it.
let it out.
Bring Andres some Capri Suns.
Yeah, baby. All right. Well, this is going to wrap it up for Open Road. We appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Andres.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Bye.